My
Welcome
fault.
to Beyond the Scoreboard, episode 9. We're here talking some more football once again. First week of full games in college football started, and the NFL is getting ready to go this week. Thursday night football between the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs will kick off the NFL season. We'll get into the Mike Evans situation. We'll pick some games for the first week of the full NFL season, the Giants' expectations, as well as the Jaguars and then their over under win totals. Then we'll hop into some college football. We got LSU FSU thoughts. We got Coach Prime in Colorado taking down TCU. Jalen Milroe, 5 touchdowns, broke a 25-year-old record at Alabama with those 5 touchdowns, 3 passing, 2 rushing. Into Drew Allar's impressive first start of the season. And then we'll break into the last few segments with Chez Mellusi and Braelon forming a great duo of running backs at Wisconsin and Oklahoma just obliterating their first game of the season. First, we'll start off Lions and Chiefs Thursday night football, first game of the season. No Chris Jones for Kansas City. What are your guys' thoughts on that game?
Yeah. So Thursday night football game, Chiefs Lions. Chiefs right now 6.5 point favorite. I mean, looking at it right now, like if I was to pick a team to win, I'd probably go with the Chiefs and the Chiefs to cover, just because I think there's just so much hype around the Lions, just all off season. Everyone's just talking about them. I mean, they had a losing record last year. They're 8-9. Like
It got better though.
I know they finished the season very hot. They ended it very well. Won, I think it was like 7 straight at the end of the year. And I mean, yeah, they only got better in the offseason, but they're playing the Chiefs. Like, I mean, yeah, if they were playing not the best team in the league, I
Okay, but are the Chiefs like
yeah, they're that good. They go to the AFC Championship every year. They're
Hey,
the
but
best
that's
team
why
in
I
yes,
the
bro?
NFL.
But
mentioned
let's
that's
not
why I
act like
mentioned without Chris Jones because that is
Yeah.
that's the best player on defense, one of the best
yes.
players in the
Without
league.
him, that defense is nothing. He is that good. Without him, they're nothing.
But
I bet
and
you.
also like how far the lines have come that they've been like enough to be in the prime time slot for the first game of NFL season against the reigning champions. Like that's how far the lines have come from those losing seasons where they're going like 4-12 and nobody even cares what th're doing. So it's been an impressive job by Dan Campbell turning that franchise in the right direction as well.
Chris Jones, like I know, like if he's not ready to go yet, and I mean, I don't know if he. I'm sure they will figure out a deal, but yeah, I do know like the the Super Bowl hangover is a real thing. I mean, you saw with the Rams last year, just I got absolutely blown out by the Bills, and I mean, I don't know, it'll be a good game though. I'm excited for it, and NFL's finally back. Yeah, it'll be
Yes, bro,
exciting.
that sounds amazing. NFL coming back, but no, I think if Chris Jones, if his holdout is through week one, the Chiefs are like that line is gonna drop and they won't be
Yeah,
favored.
it's guaranteed through week one. He hasn't practiced all week. Even if they were to come to some miraculous signing, there's no way he's playing week one again. And what is
Oh
it?
yeah, because that's in a couple days, right?
Yeah,
That's in
they
a
have
couple
two
days. But it's
days of
gonna be
rest.
through
Yeah.
week one. I don't know. It's gonna be a close game, and obviously it's Patrick Mahomes, so obviously he could pull one out of nowhere. But I don't know if the Lions get out to a hot start, it could be scary because they can. I think they could shoot it out with Kansas City. They got the weapons now,
Yeah, I think they
but
can, but
they can shoot
they,
it out for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
I like their offensive coordinator. They got better on the offensive end. Got added Gibbs, David Montgomery. They got top two O line in the league easily. It'll be
yeah,
interesting.
and a receiver that they could pick up, Mike Evans, is in what is like
Big
turmoil
Jam
right now.
is Jamo clear? Or is he suspended for a couple weeks again?
Wilson, he's done for the first 6 weeks because of the
Because he
gambling.
was gambling. Yeah, so they
Yeah,
lost
so
him.
he can't even be with the team. Like he's rehabbing an injury right now, and he can't even
Mhm.
be on the team. Like
Yeah,
to
he's
play
got
the
to
way
figure
it
it
is.
out, bro. If he wants his career to be anything and be remembered, he's got to figure it out. But I think if he figure it out, he's gonna be really good.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
a, a backup plan for that is Mike Evans and just bringing in another deep threat in himself. Where Mike Evans is some contract situation set a deadline September 9th for the Buccaneers to get a long-term extension for him. Do you guys think that gets done, or do you think Mike Evans is on the move?
I don't know, but
I,
I think I kind of agree with them. I think they're scared to do that like back end of the career big contract and give it to someone and then he plays for another year or two there. It's not great, and then he ends up being moved in a trade or something anyway. So I think they're kind of scared of like a Julio situation, but I don't know. I don't know. That's a big one because he's proved himself every season. 1,000 yards like for the last like 8 seasons. So it's like he proves he's worth something. It's just how much is the big
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, he's definitely worth like what the top 15, 20 receivers are making. I don't think you can't give him I mean,
You just don't want to overpay for him for
yeah,
real.
you can't overpay him because I mean, he's 30 years old now. Like, all right, like the guy's old. He just turned 30 though, I understand in
I won't say
August.
old. I won't
But
start calling him old, but
dude,
yeah.
if you're 30 and you're playing a
30
skill
is old
position,
to be getting new contracts. I agree, but like
yeah,
just
and like it's a skill position, dude. Like that's old. Like I mean, if you're 30 years old and running around like that, like you can't
Yeah,
be
but
taking too many
hey,
hits.
he's not short of suitors. There are five at least teams that are interested in, and two of those are the Vikings in the same division, the
Yeah.
Vikings and the Lions.
No,
So
yeah, yeah. I definitely think he can go somewhere and like a good team, like put him on the Chiefs, he'd be insane.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But I just think like the Bucks, like I don't think there's no reason for them to re-sign him. And I think even
yeah,
for him, like if I was him, I wouldn't even want to be there. Like they
yeah,
are gonna go in total rebuild. I think he's gonna be on the move. I think he won't even want to resign.
yeah. And the crazy thing is, like, he has that 1,000 yard streak, but no All Pros, just four Pro Bowls, and then that Super Bowl. So like, it's a conversation to be had. Like, is he trying to make a move so that he can be in that ranks of the Hall of Fame? Like, get into that conversation because he's had those 1,000 yard seasons, but he's never been the best or the top two players at his position in his career. So we'll move on. NFL first week. We already got into it with the Lions and the Chiefs. So I got 5 games that are highly contested, and I want to get your guys' take on each one. The Browns and the Bengals. We'll start off with that. Who do you guys think's winning that game?
That's gonna be a good game. I think it'll be a good game because the Browns are I want to say they're more complete, but I think their defense is definitely more complete. And the Bengals offense is the Bengals offense, which is like very high power. So it's like I think that'll be a good game. And then you get to watch Joe Burrow and Deshaun Watson, let Deshaun Watson prove what he can do with, a full off season and a full couple months of getting prepared. So I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a good test for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, years past the Browns have had the Bengals number. I mean, they always play them tough, especially though it's just those two teams. Like I think it's kind of how the Steelers and Ravens, those two teams always play each other tough, and the Browns and Bengals always going at it. And I think I mean it's in Cleveland. Cincinnati opened up as like a 1 point favorite. Now it's kind of down to 2.5 for them. So it's kind of they're leaning towards them, I think, in the sports book's eye. But I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a tough game. I would if I had to pick someone on this game, I would take Cleveland. I think. I mean, I just don't know. I don't like either of these teams. It's hard. I don't really like.
Yeah, we know why you don't like either of these teams. We
Oh
know
yeah,
you got the Steelers in
I'm
the
not a
division.
fan of either team, but I know I like I like the Browns. I mean, Deshaun Watson full off season, so it'll be it'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, and another one in a division, the Bears and Packers get continue this rivalry. First game of the season, the Bears last season got that crazy win in that weather game, but now they get an actual test, but they don't have to face Aaron Rodgers, who pretty much owned them for so many years. Who do you guys think wins that game?
Sheesh, that's another tough one. I mean, the battle of the young QBs. I mean, Justin Fields has proven himself a little bit. Jordan Love has a lot of proving to do. So I think it's a good test. I kind of like how they're matched up against each other, so automatically one of them starts off kind of good with 1-0, I guess. So I think that whole thing will be just interesting.
Yeah, I like the. I'd probably lean toward the Packers right here in this week. I mean, I know it's in Chicago, but I'd like the Packers what they have on defense. I mean, they're loaded on defense with almost isn't everyone a first rounder on that defense. I mean, it's insane.
It's a
And
good defense.
yeah, their defense is insane. I think this year, and I think Justin Fields is gonna, with all the new weapons and everything, I think it's gonna take a little bit for them to kind of figure everything out.
They can
Yeah,
win a division though. The Bears
I
can
think
win
that
that division.
I think anyone can win the division. I think it's a very open division to start the season. But I definitely lean the Bears here just because of experience at quarterback. I've seen what I've seen from Fields in the NFL. I've only seen preseason tape from Jordan Love, so I trust Justin Fields. Like he's been good on the field in general. He needs to be better, obviously, but also like that improving the cast around him was important. Like that running back room is not one of the best in the league, but it's solid. Like you got Roshan Johnson, Deonta Foreman, and Khalil Herbert. Herbert produced a lot for him, and I think just overall, I'd take the Bears in that one, but I think it'll be a very close game. We'll get into
Hmm.
game three. We got the Chargers and the Dolphins battle the quarterbacks, same draft class, in Tua and Justin Herbert. I want to get you guys' take. Quinn Johnson's first game, a lot of weapons on the Charger side, but then Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on the other. Who do you guys have week one?
Bro, all these games are so tough. Like they match up so perfect. And the Chargers and the Dolphins, I say that because like they're both just high powered offenses. Both got both defenses have like really big names, but both defenses have been like underperforming the past year, I would say. But I just think with Tua, if he's back healthy and he's able to be the quarterback the whole year, I think the Dolphins will be really scary. They might even come out on top of that division. I think Jets and Bills are the favorite to come out that division.
Yeah, for me, I think looking at it, I mean, last year, the Chargers Miami game was a what was it was it a Sunday night game? The Chargers and Dolphins.
Yeah,
Think
the
so.
Chargers had a lot of primetime games
Yeah, it
yesterday.
was a. I think it was a Sunday night game. Tua had probably his worst game of his career. 10 for 28, 140 yards, one touchdown. He was god awful in that game. I just think it's a huge game for him, just as in like kind of like how their season's gonna go. And honestly, I don't think I think it will be a shootout. I think it will be a high scoring game because I mean both defenses are kind of banged up still. I mean they saw the Dolphins, they lost Ramsey, Xavier Howard's going through some stuff right now. The
Yeah.
Chargers, I don't know if is Joey Bosa back, and then I know J.C. Jackson. I don't know if he'll be back either.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. I think it's day to day right now, but we'll see what happens with those two. Like, but either way, that defense is showing it can't stop the run, and it
Mm-hmm.
hasn't for a long time. And then it's the opposite end of the spectrum for the Miami Dolphins. Like they haven't been able to stop the pass, and they got Jalen Ramsey to do that, and then he goes down with injury. So it'll be interesting to see how these two teams match up and how it pans out and how Tua looks in his first game of the season after a tumultuous one last year.
Yeah.
We'll get to game four. This might have been probably the most hyped up one of the week. It's the Jets versus the Bills. Aaron Rodgers' first game as a New York Jet, and Josh Allen, as you've called the MVP this year, McCabe. So we'll see. Well, I'll get your guys' take. Who you guys think wins week one between the Jets and the Bills?
Yeah, for I mean, I got at Josh Allen winning my MVP this year. I think he's got something to prove this year, especially what happened in the playoffs last year. But I think the storylines in this game are insane. You got 9/11 in New York, Monday night game, Aaron Rodgers' first game. Like there's literally you couldn't ask for a better game and better storylines for this game. It's insane. The crowd's gonna be insane there. It's gonna be the buzz is just gonna be insane. Like all of Monday, you're gonna wake up and you're just gonna be feeling that game. It's gonna be insane. And I think I don't know. I love how like I mean just I think like the 9/11 everything and the Jets are gonna have so much to play for. But then you got the Bills who are just they got so much to prove this year and they're gonna want to come out hot. I don't. It's gonna be a tough game. I think. I
And
think
not
the
only
Jets.
that, like the
Yeah.
matchups in the game, like is Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers, but my favorite, like Sauce Gardner versus Stephon Diggs. That's going to be going at it. Like those two are going to go in at it, like for most of the game. And so like we'll see who gets the better of who and how Sauce
Uh huh.
Gardner looks because coming off that defensive rookie of the year, like he's become a household name for Jets fans and just the NFL fans in general. So we'll see how Sauce looks.
Yeah, I think the Jets get it done just kind of mostly because of just like I think they have so much more to play for in this game. I think Rogers, he's he's not shy of the big moments. I mean, he's gonna show up. So I mean, they got a running back now. I mean, if they didn't have Cook, it'd be kind of iffy because then I know the Bills probably wouldn't have an issue stopping the run, But with they got Dalvin, so they got a back who can run the ball. Which I mean, I
that's
think
the thing
Rodgers
today was
he benefits
Brees
a
Hall
huge
too.
thing.
Like
Yeah,
Brees Hall has been thrown into
he'll
question
be
if he's
back,
going to
but
be there.
he
No,
he doesn't need to.
he didn't practice like today. I believe was the thing, and they're just like they're saying it's a maintenance day, all this, but it's like we're
Yeah,
in the week of the games now. Like it's a little concerning to NFL fans, like Bills fans, Jets fans, and like fantasy owners in general. Like whether if he's going to miss another day this week or what's going to happen with that situation. But it's also nice
yeah,
that your fallback plan is Dalvin Cook.
yeah. So I mean, I think
Right.
they can easily kind of ease him back into it. Which I mean, I think that's the smart thing to do. But I mean, yeah, Rodgers just benefits so much of the run game, and them getting Dalvin Cook, I think I think it will kind of push him over the edge for just this week one. But I do like the Bills to win their division. I just think this game, just the Jets got so much more to play for.
Yeah, and I think like sneaky, it could be like they saw Brees Hall's recovery, and there's like maybe he won't be ready the first few weeks of the season. Might as well add someone for like Dalvin Cook in free agency who had only hit the Jets and the Dolphins as suitors, and they gave him a good amount of money, but it wasn't a crazy amount to get in one of the better running backs in the NFL last year, over 1,000 yards rushing. I think like he did I think the last 4 seasons, but. We'll get to our final game, another interdivision game. Like I believe all of these are, I'm not all of these except for one, those Chargers Dolphins, but the Giants and Cowboys play in what could be a season-defining game for both teams. The Giants, new toy and Darren Waller, and hopingly they hope to have improved their wide receiver core, adding Jalen Hyatt, and then that defense with Isaiah Simmons, and then the Cowboys. People are putting them in the conference championships of the Super Bowl. So who do you guys think wins between the Giants and the Cowboys?
I think the Cowboys are gonna spank them, bro. I think the Cowboys are gonna start the season really, really hot, and Dak is he's gonna try to play out his mind. Like obviously,
Yeah,
he knows he has to win. Like if he's not gonna make a deep playoff run, he's at least got to have a crazy regular season, be like third voting in MVP, like some shit that like he's not done before. He's gonna have to do something crazy. Because if he doesn't do nothing like crazy in the regular season and he doesn't go deep in the playoffs, I think they might cut the waters with that.
yeah. I think just looking at the Sunday night game, I like the Giants. I like the Cowboys. Cowboys, yeah. They loaded up this offseason. They got Gilmore. They got Brandon Cooks. Like I think CD's gonna take a big jump this year. And I think Tony Pollard, he's just only getting better. I mean, I really like what he's doing. I mean, Dallas 3.5 point favorite. I mean, buy it down to just 3 points, and I think you're feeling really good and can make yourself
Yeah,
some
hey,
money there.
and
I think,
if you're looking for an odd bet, just a forced fumble by Micah Parsons. Daniel Jones had trouble keeping the football, holding on to it, and we're expecting a massive year in terms of sacks for Micah Parsons. So if he gets in there and gets one, there's a high possibility that there's a fumble as well.
yeah, Micah Parsons he's gonna come out. I think he's him. I like him to win Defensive Player of the Year. Him or TJ. Parsons is definitely one of my favorite defensive players to watch outside of TJ Watt.
Yeah, and we'll stick on the Giants as the subject. What are your guys' expectations for New York heading into the season in a tough division? Eagles and Cowboys talked about as Super Bowl contenders, and then the Commanders, not a team to sweep under the rug as well with that young core and Sam Howell, and then a solid defensive line and secondary. What are your guys' expectations for that fourth team in the NFC East?
I like. I mean, I don't think there's much. I think they definitely missed the playoffs this year, but I think I mean, I think they get. I think they're just gonna have a mid-year 9-8 or 8-9 or something that's just they're not gonna make the playoffs, but they're not gonna be the worst. They're not gonna be a bottom team in the league. I think they're right around that like 21 to like 18 range of teams, and I think they're just gonna be solid. I don't know. I don't got too much expectations for them. I mean, I think they'll be fine. Like they have an all right roster, upgraded at tight end, but yeah, I don't know.
We're talking about the Commanders, right?
No, the
No, the
Giants.
Giants.
The Giants. I think they'll be just about the same as last year. If not, then I would say worse. I don't think they get any better than last year. I mean, I know they got a couple players with something to play. I know Saquon's got a reason to play now in the whole money situation. I mean, he's gonna play out regardless, but they got better, but I don't think they got too many game changer players. Like Darren Waller has to stay on the field. Like he's really good, obviously, but you're nothing when you can't stay healthy. So I think if their team stay healthy, they ceiling is about the same as what they did last year. Can win a playoff game, maybe. I doubt they will, but I give them the benefit of the doubt if they do. Like I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think they
Hey,
get better though.
you think they're better than the Bears this year?
Yeah, I think they're still better than the
Damn,
Bears.
so
They're
you're
more complete.
going against your bet that we got $25 on?
What?
What? You said the Bears are gonna have a better record than the Giants. $25.
No, that's they
McCabe,
might,
bro,
they can, but I don't think
did you
I.
pay up for the
I keep the
Colorado bet?
receipts, D. Don't worry.
Did you
I
say
got my
Andrew?
receipts.
You pay up for
I got
the
my
Colorado
receipts.
bet?
Huh?
Did,
No, we
did
didn't. He
McCabe
didn't
pay
want
up?
to.
He didn't want to bet.
He would have made some money.
I know I
Y'all
would have
literally
made some.
said it. Y'all said it on live, bro. They asked me for it in our TikTok comment section. They said, "Did he pay up?"
No, he didn't pay me. No, didn't we bet? No, didn't we bet?
We
No, we
bet
didn't
literally
bet.
during the video. If y'all want to
Yeah,
go
we
back
We were
did
and
just
bet
check
during
out
the video. Yes, we did.
no, we didn't.
Yes, yes.
We
How
were
much was it,
talking
Andrew?
about it.
Andrew, can you put the clip? Can you clip it?
yeah, we can put the clip. It was there.
Please put the clip so I can get my money. It was 20, right?
I think it was 20 that you guys decided on.
Yes,
But
I
hey,
remember. Hey,
we'll have to post
yeah.
something about that too. The cold takes on the Dion situation.
Can you
We'll
see my
post
Venmo?
the
Please and thank you.
4-win max.
I remember. I do remember that now. We did bet on that. God.
Hey, but
He
we'll,
wasn't even
we'll
gonna
get to
pay
the
me.
next.
Y'all see how this is? He's weird, bro. He wouldn't even pay me if we didn't say anything.
Bro, we didn't bet. We didn't. It was
So
not
we're gonna clip
confirmed.
it. Okay,
We
we're
were
gonna
just
clip.
talking about it. Yeah, we'll
We're gonna
see.
clip it. Okay, so if we clip it, you gonna send my 20?
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to the next topic. We can talk about that once we get to the college football part. Well, we'll stick with the NFL. The Jaguars have an over/under of 9.5 wins, which is kind of incredible from where they were just 2 seasons ago with that Urban Meyer turmoil and situation, all that happened. And now Doug Peterson got them heading in the right direction. Trevor Lawrence breaking out as one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and the solid defense to go with that. What are you guys' expectations, and what's your projected win total for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I like them to. I think they go over this 9.5. I think they get. I think they get that 10 pretty easily. I think. I think they can get around 11, 12. I think they can get 10 comfortably. I think anything over that, it's gonna be on them. And I mean, they're in the one of the weakest divisions. So I mean, I like them to get that total. I mean, I think they only got better. I mean, they got Trayvon Walker, who's a rookie last year. He's only gonna get better. Like Josh Allen on the D line, he's a beast. Then they got Trevor Lawrence, who I think is really going to take a big step this year, and
He's good.
I think he's going to show a lot of people what
He's
he's
really
really
good.
about.
Yeah, I think they get it too, especially because like McCabe said, the division they're in. So those wins are gonna be they'll have 5, 6 wins off division probably, and then they're good enough to beat a couple
Yeah,
good teams.
you
So,
say good enough. The plethora of talent on that offense, it's honestly insane. Like Zay Jones
Yeah,
had, like I think a massive career year last year, and it wasn't even their best target. Christian Kirk, they added Calvin Ridley, they added
Evan Ingram,
Auburn running back Tank Bigsby, who has been dominating the preseason to go along with Travis Etienne. And then you got one of the better tight ends in the NFL, and Evan Ingram as well in terms of receiving. So like you're
mm-hmm.
not short of talent on that offense. And then you have a great quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. And as you mentioned, Travion Walker is finally getting back to healthy and back to on the field. So very, very exciting times for the Jacksonville Jaguars and their fans. And they have a lot to look forward to. Another team that has a lot to look forward to are the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson signs his extension. And now big expectations come with that new offensive coordinator. 10.5 wins is their projected total. You guys think over under on that?
bro, smashing over. If Lamar is healthy, I'm smashing over. They're gonna beat the Steelers twice at home and bro, smashing over. Bro, I saw a stat today or like was watching TV and it was like Lamar has the most passing like yards and touchdowns in NFL history for any quarterback who's like never played with like an all pro receiver or Pro Bowl receiver, something like that. and now he's getting that with Odell and Zay Flowers, and they still got Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay, like bro, and Mark Andrews. Like if he stays healthy with all them weapons, and their defense is always good. Like they live and breathe defense. So it's like if he stays healthy with them weapons, bro, I'm
Bro,
smashing.
that's the thing though. They are never healthy. They're defensive. That cornerback, they like Marlon Humphrey's hurt. Who's their DBs? They don't really have many DBs. They
Yeah,
they
that
are
is a
always
question
getting
with
hurt.
Marcus
Like they're
Peters now on the Raiders. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
dude. Like Lamar, he gets hurt all the time, and he's 1-5
Not
against the
really.
Steelers in his career.
Oh
So
my,
you can't say they're going to sweep the Steelers when he's 1-5 against them.
they're gonna sweep the Steelers. I promise you.
And then they also have like they're one of the one of the top 1 or 2 hardest division in the league. And then
They're in a pretty good division, but
their
if he's
non-divisional games, like
healthy,
they got some.
bro. He's been averaging about what 9-10 wins the past 3-4 years since he's been starting. He's
Yeah, but
averaging like 10-11 wins.
they got to get
He's
11 wins.
averaging
Dude.
that with worse teams. This is one of the better teams he's had.
Why is it one of the better teams? Who they get? Odell? Oh my God, he didn't play the
Odell,
whole
Zay
year.
Flowers, bro. They added pieces.
They
Rashad
added
Bateman
Zay
was really good.
Flowers.
He just wasn't healthy. Like, bro, they got
You're
better.
naming
You're
guys
just not
who
gonna speak good of them because they're in the
question
Steelers
marks.
division.
You think they're going to get 11 wins? It's so many question marks for 11 wins.
It's been question marks the past 3 or 4 years, and they're still pulling out 9, 10, 11.
They got over 11 wins once.
Oh my gosh, bro. So,
and it was Lamar's MVP.
how many wins they get last year? They got 10 wins last year, I'm pretty sure, right?
No.
Yes, they got 10 or 11.
No.
They didn't have 9.
I think it's a boom or bust. I think they get 13 wins, go 13-4, or they go 7-10 because of injuries. Like if they're fully healthy the whole year, with the talent that they have, I think they have the possibility of going for 12 or 13 wins. But I think, like McCabe said, the injuries could hold them back and push them to that 7-10.
I think the injuries can too. That's why I said
like they play their non-divisional, some of like their tough non-divisional games.
So what was their record last year? What was the record last year?
10-7. So they didn't get 11.
They won 10 games with that. That team was hurt too back then.
Yeah, they had to start their backup and their third string quarterback.
Okay, so they play in LA, play the Chargers. They play at Jacksonville, at San Francisco. They play Miami. Like those are 4. They play Detroit. Like that's 5 games that aren't.
Okay, and the other team got to play them too because they're coming and they're able to win too. You're acting like you're getting 11 automatic losses.
Getting 11 wins, dude, for a team that is just got so many question marks.
Not 11. It said what is it?
10 and a half.
Yeah, no,
they need 11.
Yeah,
they're getting over. I think they get over.
Oof.
We'll move on. College football is now fully underway. Had the actual full week of games now under their belts, and the one that just happened, FSU versus LSU, 2 powerhouse teams now in college football. And Jordan Travis has a plethora of weapons in Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, and then just in general, that team just exploded on offense for a massive win. What are your guys' thoughts on that game?
Yeah, watching that game, I mean, I had Florida State winning it, so kind of happy with that. I mean, I like their weapons. I think they just got like the guys they picked up in the transfer portal, Keon Coleman, and then they got Bell from South Carolina, who's one of their best players, and he's just a playmaker. He's kind of like how Jahmyr Gibbs was for Alabama, just kind of he can receive, he can run the ball, he can kind of do it all. I wouldn't say he's as good, but he's definitely one of those guys you got to watch out for when he's out there. And then Johnny Wilson back, 6'7" receiver. I mean, dude's crazy. And
I swear, every time I looked up, he was making a catch for 10 or 15 yards. Like it was insane.
Yeah, and he had some bad drops on third down too. Watching the game, which that could have had an extra 30 yards, but he still had a great game. And then the Coleman guy from Michigan State, I mean, 3 touchdowns, and they weren't wide open. It was either first one, catch a guy, make a guy miss, run 20 yards in the end zone. Then the next 2 were all just jump balls, just defenders couldn't do anything because he was just babying them and just making them.
Coleman, I think Keon Coleman is just the story of that game. Like first year, he wants to go to FSU, isn't able to because of the turmoil with the coach. Goes to Michigan State, doesn't have the best year there because of the team and how it's made up. And then he gets to go back to the school he wanted from the start in Florida State and just completely balls out in game 1. 3 touchdowns, 9 receptions, 122 yards. And like it's not just he's doing it one way. He's attacking the defense down the middle, run after catch, gets that first touchdown. And like you mentioned, like the yak and the ability to go up and catch the contested ball. Like he showed everything in that first
Yeah.
game. And you pair that with Johnny Wilson, it's like, and then on top of that, you got one of the more accurate quarterbacks in college football, and Jordan
Yeah.
Travis. Like it's going to be an insane year on offense for the
And
Florida.
they got the O line. Like their O line is just they were saying on listening, that's the most like they've played the most snaps together as an O line than any O line in the country. So they're like they know each other really well. They have that chemistry. Their defense is kind of loaded this year. I think Florida State has a really good chance, especially winning that first game. They kind of got an easy schedule up until I think week 4. Then they play Clemson at Clemson. Yeah, at Clemson in 3 weeks from now. So I'm sure that'll be like a Saturday night game. So hopefully Clemson stays undefeated and wins against Duke tonight. If they don't, I think then the game loses a lot of hype. But yeah, I like Florida State a lot this year. LSU they just did not look the part as five ranked team. So yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get to the next game that has been the talk of college football for the entire weekend and now through to the next week. And Deion Sanders, Coach Prime's Colorado Buffaloes knocking off the TCU Horned Frogs in Fort Worth. I mean, it was one of the more incredible college football games you ever watched. 510 yards, 4 touchdowns for now a Heisman possibility in Shedeur Sanders. And then you got Travis Hunter going 140 plus snaps, both sides of the ball, 119 yards receiving. And then he makes an interception and 3 pass breakups. Like, just overall, an incredible game from the Colorado Buffaloes. And then you add on top of that, they got 4 receivers over 100 yards, never been done in school history. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the game and what you guys thought from Coach Deion Sanders.
You got a D?
I mean, obviously, I think people would be lying if they tell you they weren't surprised. Like, I expected it to be a competitive game, and I thought the odds of the game, TCU being favored by 21 points, was crazy. I didn't realize until after the game that was the odds. So I promise you, I would have put the house on it. No way they would. No way they weren't clearing. But anyways, no, I think they shocked the world. I mean, they're just confident. Deion is different, as we can see. He goes about everything different, as you can see. It works. And I mean, I don't know. I think my big question is, do we think Shedeur or Travis Hunter get the Heisman? Like, who has a better
I
chance?
think it's gonna be. I think Travis Hunter is going to establish himself throughout the season as.
Yeah.
I think what we saw from him in that game is that he can play both ways and it not be a problem at all. Like his production, just play by play. If you're watching him, you don't think he's playing both sides of the ball. Like he has unlimited energy, and not only that, he's elite and like all pro in the NFL. Like he could be all pro for both defense and offense. Like there was no let off, whether it was the first half or the fourth quarter, last drive of the game. Like he was that good.
Yeah, just watching that game was it was insane. Like just it couldn't have kicked off college football to a better game. Like I mean, Colorado, they do got some issues with rushing the ball, I think. I mean, I think that's going to hurt them. I mean, they 55 yards rushing, not ideal, but I mean, the playmakers they got, just someone's going to make a play, and they got Dylan Edwards.
The running back, Dylan Edwards, went for like 100, leading receiver, 135 yards. Like,
yeah, I know, yeah. He was insane. Just some of the touchdowns were just crazy. Yeah, and just watching Travis Hunter, I mean, the dude, like, he was just making plays. Like, there was one play, it was like 3rd and 16. Shedeur just drops back, sees Hunter one-on-one, throws it up to him, just makes a catch. I think just that play right there alone is a game-changing play. Like, he doesn't make that play, who knows what happens in that game. He got a touchdown taken away from him, which just kind of sucks. Like, that was such a good catch. It was insane catch. It just sucks that he couldn't get his foot down because, I mean, if you add a touchdown, a pick, and then he has all those yards, I think it's just the hype is just even more than what it already is. I think it's
we need a formal apology and then reset of what your expectation is of Colorado this season, Mr. 4 wins, and
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm getting exposed. I said Colorado was going to get 4 wins, if that at most. And after, I mean, I was totally wrong. I didn't think Colorado was going to have even be able to compete in this game. Like, but then watching it and just watching how easy Shador and Dion and all them made it look out there was just kind of crazy. I think now I don't know where to go from now with them. I mean, they can
okay,
score the ball,
expectation
but
for next week. We'll keep it a week. A team in Nebraska that struggled against Minnesota, barely could move the ball on offense, 10 points, and what was one of the worst offensive performances by both teams you'll see in the game in college football, and they have to go all the way to Boulder to face the Buffaloes. Who do you think wins that game?
I mean, I know before the TCU game, Nebraska was a 7-point favorite. Now it's flipped all the way to Colorado, a 3-point favorite. I mean, Nebraska's defense looked good against Minnesota, but their offense is nowhere near Colorado's, and they have nowhere
And
near the
TCU's
playmaking.
defense looked great last year before they played Georgia and before they played a good team, and it
Yeah,
looks like
TCU. I think TCU, the only reason they were ranked this year is because they had a decent amount of returners on the defensive side of the ball. Like, I know the offense, they were talking about it. They only had 3 returners compared. I think defense they had a good amount, so I think that's why they were ranked. And Colorado just smoked them. So I like Colorado to take this game. I mean, home game. The hype's gonna be insane. Like, it's gonna be crazy down there. So I like Colorado to win that, and especially cover the 3 points.
D. What are your thoughts, Colorado in general?
I mean, I'm kind of doing the same thing, taking it week by week. I mean, when you look at their schedule in general, they have some games I think they could for sure win, like the Colorado State games, and I don't know if maybe San Jose was on there, but then they got USC on there, they got Oregon on there.
Yeah,
So,
like
yeah,
Oregon and USC back to back is
yeah, so like they have some tough
that's
games.
tough.
They have some really tough games where I'm like, ugh, like I mean, if they play how they play TCU every week, then they're gonna have a chance in every single game. But it's like
Yeah.
that's gonna be hard to do. Obviously, I'm not saying it can be done,
Mm,
but to like
My
contain
take,
that
my
level of
take,
play.
yeah, my take
Go
on
ahead.
that, on like those, yeah. What you finish.
No, go ahead.
Okay, my take on like the big games, like we just saw probably one of the biggest games you'll ever see, like in general, like the hype that was built around that game, Coach Prime moving into it, like they're going to build up USC versus Colorado, and they're going to build up Colorado versus Oregon, but neither of those games are going to get as hyped up as that first week of college football game did. Fox comes to Fort Worth and hypes up that game, so I think there's no big game that's going to be too big for Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. I think they're going to play USC to the last snap, and I think that they'll play Oregon to the last snap. I think Deion's set a culture in that team that is, we're going to win every single down, every single snap, every single like first down, every drive, and every half. And I think they're not looking to improve 4 wins this season. They're looking for a championship, whether that is their conference championship or the national championship. And that's what those coaches and players believe. Now, whether that's achievable in this first season, we're yet to see. But I think that culture is a winning culture now. And after it was a 1 win team last season, it's a completely different organization and a completely different just mindset overall.
I think they drop. What I think happens, I think the game's in Oregon. I think they drop that game just because of how hard it is to play there. And then I think at USC at home, I think that game's gonna be. I think that game, I think they could take that one, but I don't know, dude. It's gonna be. I don't know. It's yeah. You just kind of got to take it week by week with this team. I mean, they looked insane. They definitely proved me wrong, and I know they proved a lot of other people wrong. So I'm
Hey,
excited though. It's good for college football.
another team that people were not high on, but this for a different reason. They didn't think they had a quarterback, Alabama. I put them in my top 4. You were a little
Mm-hmm.
questionable about McCabe, and they saw what happens
No,
when
I liked
Milroe gets
Alabama
the
in there.
team. You
I
like Notre Dame and SC in there over Alabama though.
No, I had Notre Dame over. I had a. I know,
You
but
had
no, I like Alabama this year. I think they.
yeah,
I like
five
them.
touchdowns, like
Yeah.
194 yards passing, 48 rushing for Milroe. Didn't have to do any more than that because they're playing a not a great opponent, but you just saw the potential and what he can do as a quarterback. I don't think it's a question anymore. I think it's Milroe's team the rest of the season. I think Alabama's still a force to be reckoned with. That roster overall, just offense or defense, the way you look at it, it's built with stars and potential to be top three, top two national championship contenders this season.
Yeah, I like Bama. I like their defense. Like their O line and D line is like best. Like it's right there with Georgia, I think. And Milroe, he doesn't have to. He's never gonna have to do too much just of how well their roster's built. Like I mean, as long as he just doesn't turn the ball over, just makes the simple reads and take what's given to him, I think they can go as far as they want. I mean, I think it's as long as he doesn't. I mean, it's gonna be fun watching him in the big game next week against Texas. So I mean, it's in Alabama, so it's in there. I think I like them in that spot right there. So last year Texas played them hard, but they also had Bijan, and which helps a lot. But I mean, they still got Quinn Ewers, they still got Xavier Woods or Xavier Worthy, and they got some playmakers still.
Yeah, and also another quarterback that impressed in the first week was Drew Allar for Penn State in Happy Valley, in front of a packed sellout crowd, and it was probably one of the better atmospheres in college football. And
Yeah.
Allar did not let them down. 38-15 win over West Virginia. A little bit of questions going into the week: is Allar going to live up to the hype? And he answered those. He even got compared to Patrick Mahomes on Twitter with that one throw where he just manipulated the pocket and made a throw on the run downfield for a long completion. But just very impressive first game of the season for Drew Allar, and Penn State looks every single bit of what we expected them to be preseason.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Like the dude only only 8 incompletions, 3 touchdowns, no picks, over 300 passing yards. Like I can't remember the last time Penn State has had a quarterback that's been able to do that, and I guarantee you he's going to be able to keep doing that. And this was nowhere near like just a good game for him. I think this is just going to be his regular, and I think he's going to really propel Penn State to as far as they want to go. I think they can. There's just so many good teams in college football this year. I mean, it's I don't. I mean, I want to say college football playoffs, but there's only 4 can make it. So.
They gotta win those big games, which they haven't been able to do in
Mm-hmm.
against
Yep.
Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah.
And speaking of, well, a team with lofty expectations, but you don't know the ceiling, Clemson right now in a slugfest and defensive battle between Duke and Clemson. D, I want to get your thoughts on how it's going so far. 13-7, Duke over Clemson going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I mean, watching this Clemson game. D, are you watching it?
Yeah,
Who you got winning that?
Clemson.
You
Is
think
Duke
they can?
supposed to be? Is Duke supposed to be good this year?
No,
No.
they're supposed to be like they were usually are,
They're supposed to
500.
be at. They're supposed to. Yeah. They're supposed to be. Yeah. Fine.
Riley Leonard's a very good quarterback for
Yeah.
college. I don't think he'll be for like a pro
Yeah.
level quarterback, but he's definitely a solid QB, like veteran. But
Yeah. For
like
the college
7 points
level.
heading into the fourth quarter is not what you expect from the number 9 team in the country.
Yeah. I think this is embarrassing for Clemson. I think
Yeah,
Cade Klubnik just does not look the part. But
He'll figure it out.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. I think
He's still young. It's,
he. Yeah. I know he's still young, but like they're the 9th ranked team right now. They were a 13-point favorite. Now they're losing to a team that was just they were
you
just
sound like
not good.
you sound like you just betted on them or something. That's how that sounds like.
No, I have. I took Duke in this game, but I'm just saying like it's so bad for Clemson to be losing this game. Like I knew like I thought Duke was like Duke 17 returners on their team this year. Like they returned a lot of guys from last year. So that's why I took them. They were like 13 points. Like I was like I'm taking Duke like at home. The atmosphere is going to be crazy first game of the year. And Clemson last year like they were terrible. Like they were I mean they weren't terrible, but like they just aren't to where they're used to be, which is in that undefeated only 1 loss season when they because I mean they're in the ACC, who's not it's not a very good conference, but I don't know. I think Clemson can win this game, but it's going to be I don't think they can. Like, you're not going to be able to win by 13, but I don't know. I think Clemson's about to score right here. I think Riley Leonard. I think I'm going to give it to Duke, though. I think the better quarterback wins this game.
yeah.
You think
We'll
quarterback's
move.
better?
You said Riley Leonard's better than Klubnik?
Yes. Right now, it's not even close.
Oh, he fumbled.
Oh my God. Oh, here we go. Duke is going.
Fumbled.
Fumbled at the goal line. Duke's running at 40. Klubnik's chasing him down, and he got him. Holy, what
So
a change in.
that game we figured out by the time it's posted, but a game that was figured out already, Wisconsin, but figuring out in the second half and knocking off Buffalo 38-17, and they found a incredible RB tandem in Chez Mellusi and Braelon Allen. Just absolutely exploded on the running game side of things for Wisconsin. What are your thoughts of them and how you think they're going to do this season?
Yeah, I like that running back duo. I mean, they didn't look too good in the first half, but probably got their ass chewed out in the locker room and then kind of turned it up in the second half. But I mean, yeah, Braelon Allen and the Chez dude just like Chez averaging 12 yards a carry and then Braelon 8 yards a carry. Like, it's kind of just unfair. I mean, those dudes are going to be a problem. They're going to keep them in any game. I mean, they're going to be able to control all the game with, how quick the games go now with the no stoppage after first down. They'll just be able to keep running the ball down your throat, and hopefully their defense is good enough to keep the games low scoring. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Tanner.
and how interesting is that? Like Phil Longo, great offensive coordinator at North Carolina, now goes to like Wisconsin, and usually it was we don't go underneath, we're just going deep when we're play action passing, or we're just straight up deep balls from Sam Howell or Drake May, and now you go into a Wisconsin who's been an established running team, and you just get, oh, I'm just going to walk into two incredible running backs that average 10 yards a carry together. Like,
Yeah.
what a luxury to walk into so much talent. And then the only question mark I have is Tanner Mordecai and him taking care of the football. He's had a pick in every single time he's touched the field for Wisconsin in their jersey. So it'll be interesting to see when they get into those tougher games, other than Buffalo, how he fares and how they play as a collective if he continues to make those mistakes. But no mistakes were made on the side of Oklahoma and Boomer Sooner. A 73-0 win, and you have the other coach on the other sideline looking completely lost, no answers. What are your guys' thoughts on Dillon Gabriel and just Oklahoma in general?
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the game, but I did take Oklahoma to win by 36, so that was a good.
That was the line.
Win. Yeah, they were minus 36.
Bro, who be making these lines? That's crazy.
Bro, Alabama's line was like 30.
Yeah, every team, it was like that's every line, D. Like,
I'm gonna start looking at those.
Like Notre Dame was minus like 30. They won by 53. Like Oregon was minus like, I think Oregon was the biggest one. I think they were minus 50. They won by
81-7.
Yeah, they won 81-7.
That's ridiculous.
So yeah, I mean, there was a stat in those things saying like when a team is like a top ranked team is favored by more than like 30 points, it's like, I think in the last like 5 years it's hitting at like a 70% rate, which is like very good if you're a sports bettor. But I mean, yeah, you got to be careful though, because I know like Texas, they were minus huge favorite. They didn't cover their big spread. They didn't look too well.
And just last thing on Oklahoma, like Nick Anderson and Andrew Anthony, like two great wide receivers. They had 5 guys over 50 yards receiving. Like they pretty much used their entire roster against Arkansas State, because after it was the first quarter was 28-0, and then after that they scored 17, 21 in the next 2 quarters, and then 5 or 66-0. Like, you're not doing anything in the fourth quarter. So it's like Dillon Gabriel, solid start, 19-22, only 3 incompletions, 308 yards and 2 touchdowns. Can't ask for much more. And then your backup comes in, and Arnold goes 11 for 11, 114 yards and a touchdown. Just like it was a perfect game from a team that was ranked pretty highly for what their record was last year, going under 500. But they showed that they are back. Boomer Sooner is back to relevancy in college football for the postseason. It'll be interesting to see what they can do in week 2. As I don't know, I think it's going to be a tougher opponent than Arkansas State, because who isn't at this point. But SMU, not the greatest of opponents, but also not the worst. So we'll see if they can replicate that incredible performance. But that'll do it for episode 9 of Beyond the Scoreboard. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yep.